Angelica,
Hello.
that's the link you should share. You hear? Send it to them so they can share it on their Facebook.
Okay,
All right.
one second.
The rest of the persons here you want me to admit?
I'd say maybe give it like 5 minutes because can I just play a video and you just tell me if it
You're
works?
on two different instruments.
Me?
Yes. Oh, it's the video. The other
Oh,
thing is video.
okay, wait, so mine is all okay?
Okay.
Okay, so just let me share this. You can hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. I closed the live stream because it was driving me nuts.
Okay,
But
perfect.
it
So,
should be active.
okay, so this is working. Let me text Paula this so that they can share, copy link. Wait, where is it? Ah, okay. Where's Paula?
You see how long it took me to reach home though?
Right?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to leave earlier.
And it was so funny, they ran right after you. You're leaving.
Yeah, I think she likes me.
What they're not to like?
You get that sense?
Of course.
I mean, likes me. All right, I don't see Paula here. I wonder
I,
if she's in traffic.
I stayed in the office.
Oh,
Yeah, because I was like, I was a bit too stressed out. So I just thought it'd be easier.
at least it
Okay.
shouldn't be a hassle for you to reach home. Like,
Mm, yes, no, but one of my friends is gonna collect me at 7, so.
oh, even better. I,
Hmm.
I
So I
had
don't
remember, when you come home, you have to still do post-COVID cleaning. So I have to bathe before I touch anything.
have
I in a
COVID.
taxi with lots of people, woman,
Oh yeah.
and monkeypox is out, mpox.
It's kind of
So you have to preserve
sec.
your home.
Let me add the employees because she is the direct, like the
Problem.
executive director of
Which
SBDC.
one?
Okay, so I'll admit her. The lead.
Okay, just you can give her co-hosting duties, or I'll just do it.
Oh my God, your connection is stable. God.
Fine.
No, me.
Oh, you probably should go to my desk and plug in.
I think I'm gonna go to the conference room.
Okay.
Okay. Because God, why does it always have to be me? Okay, you can allow her in, please.
Who? Which one?
Feliz. Feliz
El
Beto.
Elise? Oh,
P-H-I-L-L-S.
PH.
Yeah.
Felice.
Feliz.
Navidad.
Yeah, and Coco spread.
Let's do her. There it is. Oh, my co-host. Yes.
Good evening, Feliz.
Evening, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Awesome, and you?
I'm good too. I'm excited for this, and I
Oh,
hope you're well refreshed and rested from your holiday.
well, I don't know about refresh. It's been a wild day, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. So as soon as my part of it is over, I'll breathe a sigh of relief and then I'll sit back and enjoy this event because I feel like I need to be mentored today.
All right,
Yes, no,
guys.
I'm excited as well.
Just a note, we're also live streaming even though we haven't started. So please
Okay.
be aware.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you
you.
very much.
Okay, thank you.
So I think then in maybe like in 5 minutes then to allow people then entry in.
No problem.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being on time and for joining. We will allow maybe 1 or 2 more minutes to get more people to join, and then we will begin. Thank you so much for being connected tonight or today. All right, I think we will start. I know people are starting to join, but we do have a very busy agenda, and we will start now, I think, but we will allow more people to come into the session. So thank you everyone for joining. My name is Pauli Studis, and I am the Program Specialist for Social and Human Sciences of the UNESCO Office for the Caribbean. We are based in Kingston, but we cover 20 countries and territories across the English and Dutch-speaking Caribbean. This mentorship session or this training session is organized within the framework of the project that we are organizing together with the Small Business Development Center. And we're very happy for the opportunity that has been provided to us to help bring this session together, where we hope that you will find inspirational and engaging opportunities to strengthen your business ventures. We're very happy to see the amount of people that have joined, and we hope that it will be interesting sessions for you. We have a lot of practical and hands-on activities for you today to enhance your businesses. So this training session is organized within the framework of the Building Back Equal through Innovative Financing for Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Project. And this very long, the title is a cross-country initiative targeting the Bahamas, and it's jointly implemented by UN Women, FAO, UNDP, and UNESCO. And its primary goal is to pilot innovative financing tools to advance gender equality and empower women and young entrepreneurs. And particularly, UNESCO is focused on the creative and cultural industry. To facilitate an equal recovery in the post-COVID-19 scenarios, and by providing female and young entrepreneurs with additional capital to reduce financial risk. So we hope that through these different types of trainings to accelerate progress towards sustainable development goals by fostering an enabling environment for growth. The project emphasizes support for women, persons with disabilities, and youth-led businesses, specifically in the creative and cultural industry. And that's why we're very happy to be hosting, together with SBDC, this training opportunity. We hope as well to create an enabling environment for entrepreneurs through access to different financing services, as well as mentorship, and that provides opportunities for market expansion. In the slides, the initiative includes business. This initiative is focused on creating acceleration opportunities for businesses in the creative and cultural industries, and to enhance the technical capacities, business skills, and financial knowledge of entrepreneurs across the Bahamas. So very, very happy to be with you all today. And the reason or the thought behind the training that we've developed today is really to give you tools that can strengthen your businesses and in order to help you finalize all the training modules with excellence. For this, we're very happy to be counting on the partnership of SBDC. It would not have been possible for UNESCO to reach this amount of people had it not been for the amazing network and expertise of our partners at SBDC. And for this, I would like to hand over the floor to Phyllis Bethel, who is going to give us some opening remarks from SBDC.
Thank you,
Please.
Paula. And we are excited just as much as you are about this collaboration and about this Mentorship Day event. So good afternoon, creative entrepreneurs, distinguished mentors, youth researchers, UNESCO representatives, as well as SBDC team members. It's an honor to welcome you to today's Mentorship Day event. This occasion is a vital component of the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative. Vital? Why? Why are we here? So we're gathered to celebrate and empower the creative industry, a sector that plays a critical role in the cultural and economic fabric of the Bahamas. Without question, the creative industry is not only a source of national pride, but also a powerful engine for economic growth and innovation. Because as creative entrepreneurs, your talent and vision are the driving forces behind many industries like fashion, beauty, entertainment, tourism, education, construction, and technology. However, your creative genius is not enough. To truly succeed and make a significant national impact, it is important to sharpen your entrepreneurial skills, protect your intellectual property, and continuously adapt to the evolving business landscape. Your ideas and creations are valuable assets that must be safeguarded and strategically leveraged for long-term success. Collaboration and strategic partnerships with other entrepreneurs who specialize in marketing, packaging, and distribution are vital to taking your products and services beyond the borders of the Bahamas and onto the global stage. Your ambition as an entrepreneur should not merely be to create a product or offer a service. More importantly, it should be about sharing the rich cultural heritage of our nation with the world. Besides collaborating with other entrepreneurs, it is important to gain valuable insight from a team of young UNESCO researchers who've been diligently studying the business landscape in the Bahamas. Their mission this afternoon is to share fresh perspectives and innovative solutions to help shape policies and initiatives that aim to foster inclusive and equitable distribution of wealth among Bahamian entrepreneurs. Throughout the course of the Business Blueprint training program, many of you have also been sharpening your business acumen and skill set under the guidance of a mentor. And because this is a mentorship day event, I think it's only appropriate for all of us to acknowledge in the chat our incredible team of 18 mentors. Each of them brings a wealth of professional and industry experience, and week after week, they are here to guide, support, and inspire you along your entrepreneurial journey. So I want to emphasize that not only are you making an investment of time in the development of your business, but so are the mentors, so are the operations team of the SBDC. We are rallying behind you to ensure that you launch and grow your business successfully. I hope that all of you fully take advantage of the one-on-one meetings with your mentor to ensure your future success. So thank you all for being here and for your commitment to growth and excellence. Together, we can break barriers, create opportunities, and shape the future of the creative industry in the Bahamas. Enjoy this event, but don't just sit back and relax. I encourage each of you to actively participate, ask questions, drop your comments in the chat, and let's make this an afternoon of learning, collaboration, and inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felice, for those introductory words. And we hope that this will also inspire the entrepreneurs who have joined us to be really engaged in the session. I believe that there is a video that we wanted to share that would also give a shout out for us to the different mentors that are currently engaged in supporting the over 400 entrepreneurs who are in this initiative. I think I will hand over. Can we show the video, please? Thank you so much. We wanted to create an opportunity to recognize all the mentors that are supporting the entrepreneurs in the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative, and notably in the Business Blueprint training courses. We see that there's a lot of action in the chat. So please also feel free to introduce yourself and share a little bit more about your entrepreneurial venture, because we also hope that this will be a peer-to-peer learning experience. In order to move on with our agenda of the day, we wanted to now focus a little bit more on the business environment and the entrepreneurial environment in the Bahamas. Within the framework of the same Building Back Equal project, UNESCO decided to give the opportunity to young people to lead in conducting research on the state of entrepreneurship in the country. And so I would like to ask you to please join me in welcoming Bernique Popel, who will introduce the UNESCO Youth as Researchers Program, which is an initiative that engages young people in meaningful research to drive positive change. Bernique will do an introduction on what the Youth as Researchers Initiative is. Bernique, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Paula. Good evening, SBDC, distinguished guests, speakers, and creative entrepreneurs. My name is Bernique Popel, an entrepreneur just like yourselves, as well as a former grant recipient of the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center and UNESCO Youth Researcher. The Youth as Researchers YR initiative in the Bahamas was a research effort within the SDG Fund project on building back equal rights through innovative financing for gender equality and women's empowerment. Youth were selected across the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to conduct independent research. Through a collaborative effort between UNESCO and the UNESCO chairs at the National University of Ireland and Penn State University, the Youth as Researchers Initiative stands as a testament to the power and potential of young minds coming together to tackle real-world challenges. This innovative approach equips youth with essential tools and techniques, empowering them to amplify their voices and drive social change. By conducting our own research, enhancing critical thinking, and fostering teamwork, we work to co-create knowledge and develop as empathetic, effective leaders. Beyond networking, the program encouraged building meaningful relationships. As we gather to disseminate the research findings, we not only shed light on the intricacies of entrepreneurship, gender equality, and women's empowerment, but also pave the way for informed decision-making and meaningful action. The active engagement of youth in leading research is also pivotal in shaping policy making and ensuring a future that is reflective of youth needs. The YR groups explored the experiences of civil society organizations and the private sector in advancing and sustaining women and youth-led entrepreneurship. They analyzed government programs on gender equality and women's empowerment, highlighting best practices and providing recommendations for developing MSMEs and advancing women-led entrepreneurship. This research was supported by communications and advocacy actions to engage the public and mobilize stakeholders. The findings will be published as a series of policy briefs shared with young entrepreneurs, the United Nations, government actors, and media channels. This evening, our key presenters will be Ms. Leonie Lewis-Roll and Mr. Trey Bether, respectively. They will present to you their findings on exploring government programs on gender equality and women's empowerment, highlighting best practices and recommendations for developing MSMEs and advancing women-led entrepreneurship. This segment will be concluded presenting the views of young people on barriers and opportunities for women-led and youth-led entrepreneurship. We do hope that you are not only educated by our findings, but also inspired by the work that we do to foster youth engagement and development of entrepreneurship in the Bahamas. My heart-to-heart advice to you as an entrepreneur, a part of such an amazing cohort, is to take it all in, enjoy the experience, and use your resources wisely. All the best to you, and see you at the top. Leonie, it's now yours.
Thank you so much for that, Bernique. Good day, everyone. My name is Leonie Rule, and I'm so excited to be here on Mentorship Day. So I'm just going to start by sharing my screen. Just make sure that you guys can see it. Can everyone see my screen? Paula? Paula, anyone can see my screen before I begin? No?
No.
Okay.
You still can't see it.
Okay, 1 second. Let me try this again. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So a part of group 2, our basic research was basically looking at policy to practice, evaluating governmental gender equality initiatives in the Bahamas. So with our project methodology, we basically aim to show how government initiatives in the Bahamas enhance women empowerment and contribute to reducing gender inequality. And that was so more so particular in the development of MSMEs and women-led entrepreneurs. So within our survey structure, we highlighted entrepreneurial experience, awareness, impact, challenge, and the demographics. So in total, we had 77 participants, which were of both genders, female and male, between the ages of 18 and 35. Okay, so within the entrepreneurs insight, the top industry that did the survey was in the beauty industry, which contributed to 27.1%. Other industries, including tourism, food and beverage, agriculture, health and fitness, were also a part of the research. We found that 58.4% of the respondents were current entrepreneurs, and majority of them were young female adults with 1 to 3 years of experience. So within our awareness insight, 57% of the participants were unaware of any existing government initiatives within the Bahamas. However, persons that were had knowledge, at least, of some programs, highlighted 3 major programs that they were able to get some sort of assistance from. So the 3 would be SBDC, which offered grants, loans, and equity funding. Academic for Women Entrepreneurs, that offered grants, business plan development. STEM, which offered business development and training. And they also highlighted the Bahamas Development Bank, that only offered loans. Now, with the challenge insight, the key areas for government support would be funding, networking opportunities, as well as training. In addition to that, improvement for IT and promoting government initiatives that exist is another challenge that was highlighted as well within our research. So with recommendation, it was 6 recommendations that us as a group would have recommended based on the results that we got from the survey. 1 being enhancing visibility and outreach. Based on the low engagements of existing governmental programs, whether it was funding or training, we realized there was a critical need for intentional and targeted promotion and education specifically for women led businesses within the Bahamas. 2, stakeholder engagement forums, where young persons can come together and collaborate to come up with ideas, etc., that could assist with government-led initiatives, especially for young entrepreneurs as well as women-led businesses. Number 3 would be youth gender-specific support. With students graduating from school, we want to highlight that it's important that entrepreneurship would be highlighted within their program. So once they graduate from school, they can be able to know what opportunity exists if they want to become an entrepreneur instead of the regular going to college. Also, investing in improvements such as training and funding and networking opportunities, sector visibility mediums, where we can have access to government-led programs without having to fish for information, so it'll be readily available for persons, as well as anti-discriminating laws, where within this research, persons, at least the women that would have done the survey, has mentioned that there are no policies that would assist with protecting women, especially in gender-based position, especially in entrepreneurship. So establishing these laws that would assist women-led businesses to feel more comfortable within the entrepreneurial space. So that basically wrapped up the research that we would have done and the recommendations that were given based on the results of our research. And a question that we want to leave with everyone: what recommendations would you make to enhance the effectiveness of government programs for women entrepreneurship? So that's something that you can ponder on and give any suggestions that you may have within the chat box. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Leonie, for your insights. And Trey, now you.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing pretty well. Angelica, can you share my screen for me, please? Thank you so much. Okay, so just as, of course, everyone is near either an aspiring entrepreneur or maybe, of course, an individual who's just thinking about business itself, we've had a chance to pretty much dive in or divulge into the barriers and opportunities for youth and women entrepreneurship from the public's point of view. And funny enough, we find some very great insights, to be honest, about what is it that the public actually think about this particular topic. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so the goal of our research was to, or it aims to explore the barriers and opportunities faced by youth and women in entrepreneurship from the public's perspective, while the objective of providing insights to support aspiring entrepreneurs. How do we do this? Data was collected through Google Forms, facilitating a comprehensive understanding of participants' perspectives through online surveys. And the question that we took up from this the most was, do you believe that women have equal opportunities when it comes to access to funding for entrepreneurs? Next slide, please. So after careful consideration, and of course, after carefully conducting research and facilitating a survey using this or these numerous questions, our findings were this. And the first question is, what type of business do you own? Now, of course, we got about between 53 and 54 responses. And most of these, of course, questions are geared towards or pretty much focused on education, technology, entertainment, food and beverage, farming, clothing and accessories, service-based, and also being a swim coach. So based on the population profile, we actually gained data between those who are 18 years old to 35 plus. Based on, of course, what's on my screen now, it states that between ages 18 and 22, 24.1%, based on the age range itself. 23 to 27 was 24.1% as well, too. 27 to 30 was 16.7%, and 31 to 35 was 22.2%, and 35 and plus was actually 13%. Based on this, our gender distribution was pretty much straightforward. And I find that in most cases, women are much more responsive and susceptible to service as such. So men, it was 16.7%, women was 83.3%. The three top businesses or types of businesses in which we discovered during the survey was simply this: clothing and accessories, 20.8%, being swim coaches, 18.9%, and service-based such as Uber, delivery, etc., 9.4%. Now, what's stunning is this: the perception of government support. How many individuals believe that, hey, that government support these types of businesses, one, or female-led or even youth-led ventures as well? So the ones that said yes is 73.1%. Some who said maybe, those who were unsure, was 19.2%. Some who said no was 7.7%. Seems if those who said 73.1% was doing some research, right? Next slide for me, please. Perfect. So the second question, it says, and we focus specifically on these questions because, again, these pretty much led towards the perspective of the public view, right? Are you aware of the following organizations / programs geared towards youth entrepreneurship and empowerment? And we focus on the Access Accelerator, Bahamas Development Bank, Youth Empowerment Program, the Youth Ambassadors Program by the U.S. Embassy itself, and also we focus on the University of the Bahamas. For those who actually are aware of funding for entrepreneurs, those who said that they are aware was 42.6%, and those who are unaware was 57.4%. The knowledge of financial opportunities, some who said no was 85.2%, those who said yes is 14.8%. Those who also stated that, hey, that there are support for entrepreneurial training in high school, some said is 98.1%, and some say is 1.9%, those who said no. Next slide, please. A third question states, what was your number one fear as it relates to starting your business as young persons during post-COVID era? And many, of course, we know that, hey, many fears have actually popped up after the pandemic era as well, too. Barriers of entrepreneurship. Failure of fear was 26.4%. Lack of support, 26.4%. Lack of resources, 45.3%. All of the above, 1.9%. Here's our recommendations. 1, boosting youth involvement in entrepreneurship. 2, creating new laws and initiatives to lessen the gender gap in entrepreneurship. And 3, increasing awareness of networks assisting aspiring young or youth entrepreneurs. Next slide for me, please. Some of the insights, of course, from our research process were simply this. Access to organizations providing substantial data is crucial. Identify various niches in the market, or in the Bahamian market, I should say, for Bahamian entrepreneurship industry is challenging. We all know this. Financial resources for launching ventures are still lacking. The need for greater dissemination of financial opportunities, difficulty in engaging young hopefuls, especially on the family islands. Management of businesses operations is a significant challenge. Fundamentals for entrepreneurship should be introduced at the high school level. Mentorship and training sessions are key for business success. And lastly, highlighting successful women entrepreneurs for motivation. Next slide for me, please. So after all of this research that we would have put together with a number of individuals within our group, including Bernique as well, we recommend these 3 major aspects. And of course, we have some additional areas for further exploration. 1, implement educational goals in secondary schools to foster entrepreneurial skills from an early age, addressing the lack of awareness and knowledge among youth. 2, establish new laws and initiatives aimed at reducing the gender gap in entrepreneurship, ensuring equal opportunities for women entrepreneurs. 3, enhance accessibility and awareness of support networks for aspiring youth entrepreneurs, particularly on the family islands, to overcome geographical barriers. Additional areas for further exploration. Investigate strategies for improving access to financial resources for budding entrepreneurs. Explore methods to better engage and capture the attention of target audiences, particularly on digital platforms. And lastly, access the effectiveness of mentorship programs in addressing the challenges faced by young entrepreneurs. Next slide, for me, please. And we're down to our last slide. Future directions and questions. These are future recommendations based on our research and based on the public's opinion. 1, conduct a longitudinal study to track the progress of youth and women entrepreneurs over time, assessing the long-term impact of support initiatives. 2, collaborate with government agencies and private organizations to develop comprehensive entrepreneurship policies tailored to the needs of young and women entrepreneurs. So, youth, mentors, everyone who's on this platform today, I ask you this particular question. What innovative approaches do you believe can be effective in bringing the gender gap in entrepreneurship and fostering youth engagement in the Bahamas? These are our findings. We hope this was insightful to you. Have a great evening. Thank you. Back to you, Bernique.
Thank you so much, Trey. And we can open the floor for questions, but I think it's Paul now.
Thank you so much, Bernique. Thank you to also Leonie and for Trey. I saw that the chat was also active, like providing feedback to what you were sharing. The youth as researchers worked tirelessly for over 4 months, juggling work as well as academic studies. And through this initiative, UNESCO really builds on the notion of partnering with youth and advancing youth-led knowledge production on issues that really affect youth. And we've seen in the chat that some entrepreneurs are struggling with like exporting. And so we wanted to kind of also strengthen the young people's perspectives on these issues. So thank you so very much for sharing your insight. And this is the biggest presentation they've done of their findings. So thank you also well for being a very kind audience. And please let's congratulate the young entrepreneurs and the young researchers. Now we will move on to our first training session, or second maybe session of the whole mentorship day. And this session will be really focused on providing you with more tools that will help enhance your branding and marketing efforts. For this session, we will use a tool called Canva, which offers a free version with a wide array of templates and design tools, making it accessible for entrepreneurs on a budget or entrepreneurs who are not design experts. And so for this, I would like to introduce our trainer for today. Her name is Clementina Villarroel. She is a seasoned graphic designer with over 10 years of experience, specializing in various aspects of design, including brand design, editorial design, social media, and motion graphics. She also has successfully completed numerous international projects as a freelance designer. So these projects have allowed her to work with clients from different cultural backgrounds and industries, giving her a diverse portfolio that reflects adaptability and creative versatility. So we want to hand over the floor. We also encourage you to, if you don't have this already, to create a Canva account at canva.com. We'll write it in the chat, because this will actually give you the possibility to work while Clementina is kind of doing the demos, but also for the future of your initiatives. So Clementina, thank you so much for your time, and the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you so much, Paula. Well, it's really nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me to this training session. First of all, I would like to say I'm a little shy, so if I get stuck on or something, don't mind me. Well, I just wanted to for a little introduction about Canva and design in general. Really, Canva is a great asset for entrepreneurs, such as beginners, experts, any kind of business. You will have to have a brand design. You can have consistency between the things you want to convey and the message you want to give others, and so you can improve your sales or really, really give to know yourself, to know your brand, to know your business, to know that you're there, to position yourself on the internet, and so people can find you more easily. And well, Canva is a great tool for that. It's user friendly and it's really easy to use, and also it's really good to keep on with the trends in design these days. So to make it more colorful, dynamic, and stuff. Also, you have video, which is a huge tool to have right now because everything is on video now. So I will share my screen with a presentation I made, in which I explain a little bit about Canva, and then I will show you more or less the tools you have in there so you can get to know it. But first, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. Please let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, awesome. Okay. First, my simple recommendations would be to define your concept and an idea, as well as your target audience. That is mostly to see who do you want to reach out to? Who would be your perfect client, your ideal client? Who do you want to reach, basically? Then in terms of design, really, you have to choose a color scheme. Like for using the same colors, I recommend using the same colors in every publication you want to make, every post, every video, every everything you want to publish, and also same typography. And really some photographs as well. You can use a series of photographs you took, or search on the assets I'm gonna send you later. And well, everything just have to have consistency. That's great for your brand, and that's also easier to design many posts and stories and stuff with just one design. You make it variable, dynamic, and it most of all easy to maintain publishing stuff. That's really important for your brand business in the internet and Instagram, social media, and stuff. Also, another recommendation, I always do this for my own work. So I really like to look at references, any brand that looks like mine, that does the same thing, or not necessarily does the same thing, but goes in the same area or industry I'm working on, to see what are the trends and what it's functioning to them to gain more clients. Uh, Pinterest is great for this, or also you can watch and search for brands in social media like Instagram, Facebook, and see what other people are making. Not to copy it, but to gain a perspective on the trends right now. And also, one of the greatest things at Canva is that you have templates. Templates are already built designs that you can customize yourself, put it the text you want, the images you want, but it's also already designed per se. So you can customize it with your own stuff, but it's easier because it's already designed as well. So this is what the home page of Canva looks like. We see we have our profile made, and you have all these templates on the For You page. You have here in For You the templates you usually work on, the ones you have saved because you can save your projects. And also you have the templates, the formats and sizing documents here, like documents, whiteboards, presentations, social media, videos, and websites even. So it's a great tool. You have everything in here. Here you have the basic menu side, the templates, projects, brands, and apps. You also have an apps you have apps you can install, so you can get more assets and stuff. Also, there's a premium version, which is a paid subscription. So you pay a monthly amount, and you gain access to more templates and more elements, icons, photos, and stuff. But in my experience, the free one works just fine. So if you don't want to spend money on that, it's not necessary. You just have to look for the crown icon to know if it's premium or is it available on the free app. So to give you an overview of what kind of templates you can find, here, when you click on templates, these are the ones that appear firstly. So you can create documents, Word documents, to write whatever you need, whatever you need to send out, like invoices and stuff. You can make it on here. Whiteboard, it's really like free design. It doesn't have any sizing, custom sizing. Presentations, can have presentations here too. It's really great because some of those presentations are already animated, so it gives it a cool look. And everything for your business, like flyers, stories, letterheads, even logos, resumes, videos, documents, mobile videos, and letters. It really has everything you might need to grow your business. And here are some examples of what you can find in the templates area. You can have Facebook posts. See if this is it. It has this. Oh, I'm sorry. This crown icon. It means that it's paid for. It's premium. But you can have, if it doesn't have it, you can have it for free. You only just have to click it to and start putting your information or changing your image and stuff. You can upload also your own photographs. If you have a product, you can take your own photographs and just upload it and use the same template. Here you have flyers, documents, Instagram Reels, which Instagram Reels is really, really cool. It's a really cool asset to have, like a template, because right now, the most of what it works in social media, it's Reels, videos and stuff. So it's really cool to have like these templates that you can use. And okay, to go about design per se, I just like to have three important things that I like to go the anatomy of a post. First of all, text hierarchy. The text hierarchy is the most important part of a post, flyer, or something you want to communicate. Why hierarchy? Because you have to play with the sizing of the fonts and the text you want to convey. The bigger the text, the more important stuff you are going to write there. Like in this case, use peace and security is the logo or the name of the campaign we were working on. So I wanted to make that really, really big so that it be the first thing that you read when you watch the logo. The second most important thing is the subtitle. So that's big, but not as big. And then the date and stuff a little smaller. Depends on what you want to convey, if it's a sale or some more information, but not as important. It goes way, way smaller. You can use shapes and elements to give it like more graphic design, really as to 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 go with it with the text, but not take the whole post, just to give it a little more possess. And also another good important stuff is to choose the right image. Mostly you can find great images for free on the internet. I'm going to share some assets and some web pages where you can find free assets like this one. But the importance of having a good image is that people feel drawn to a good image. So always try to look for bigger images that doesn't have the pixels and doesn't have the bright colors you want to go with your colors and stuff. The photographs are really, really important, and it's most of the work of designing is choosing the right image. So research the free resources and make use of them because they can improve so much of the design, and that improve much more of your engagement with people. And if you want to gain more clients and stuff, you have to gain their attention some way. Okay, to go more into the tools of Canva, you have this sidebars, which I make. We're going to review it later on live Canva, and you have these tools: design, elements, text, brands, uploads, draw, projects, and apps. Here on uploads, if you have your own photos you want to use, if you have your own photos from your services or your materials or some product you want to sell, you can upload them there and then add it to your post or your story or whatever you are making. And then we have the text tool, which is really cool in Canva because you have a font combination that are pre-made, so you can choose one of those, and then you have half of the design already made. So you just have to choose the one you like and the one you want to use for your every post, and that is really awesome because it's always trending. It's always go with the style that you want, and it's really cool for that. And you don't have to spend hours searching for the right typography and stuff. I really like that tool. And here I gathered some of the tools you have available on making your design. For example, this is how it really looks like. This is I just cut it down and paste it here. So this is what you look like what it looks like when you click on elements. You have shapes, you have graphics, you have an AI image generator, stickers. You have also, if you are talking about research and stuff, you can have like Venn diagrams and infographics, and those tools are really great for presentation. What more? And also you have like your same font tools like in Word documents and stuff. That works exactly the same. So I think it's self-explanatory. But if you want to have some certain colors, here you click here and there appears the colors. You may want to add some colors that you will always use, like the ones you choose for your brand, and you can have them here and have them every time you open Canva. You'll have them there, and you don't have to search for them again. You have your default colors. Okay, so let's explore Canva. I'll share my screen so that we have a Canva meeting. First of all, I wanted to show you this page. Please let me know if you can see it. Okay. Okay. So here we have our homepage. When you created your own username and stuff, you have your own projects here on this sidebar.
Raymond, I think from our side, we're only seeing your PowerPoint still.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, wait. Let me try that again.
Okay, now we see you. Yep.
Okay, here we are.
Perfect. Now we're good. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Let me go back to homepage. Okay. This is the homepage where you can find all the templates that I showed earlier. So we have all kinds of templates. This is like infinite template paradise here, so that it's awesome. Here you can see that the videos are already animated, so that's a really cool asset to have. It really gives a more dynamic and fun experience for you to publish on social media. That's great. Also, you have uh, mobile videos, you have for YouTube, you have for Facebook, your own resume you can do as well. So exploring the templates, I really recommend it because it's always great to find out what's on trend right now and how you can use them and how can you adapt them to your own vision per se. So I open here a blank canvas so we can explore a little more. Here in the text, well, you have already defined text styles, add a heading, subheading, and body text. Like I was saying earlier, the heading and subheading, it all has a different size. So this is the most important part of your post. This is a little more of what you want to say. And then you can have a little bit more of info. It's also important to highlight that you don't have to write a lot of text on the post because you want to convey one message and you don't want to uh, make it more crowded with so much information. Try to make the most important information that you want to send out in the design. And for more information or more details, you can also use always the caption or the information settings or an email or something where you can detail more. But always try not to make it too crowded with text. Here is what I was saying about font combination. See, we have here the crown. That's kind of a pro, so we cannot use it. But for example, we have this one. It's really cool because it has very dynamic typographies, which I like to combine typographies to give it a more fun outlook. But you have a lot of stuffs here. It's really cool, and with effects too, like this glamping. It's awesome. Oh, that's pro. And if you don't want to use this, you can also add it yourself. Like we have on documents. Here we have a really great array of multiple fonts that you can see here, and you can create your own. So it's really friendly. As you can see, it's really user friendly. Everything it's right here, and you can get to it really fast. And for the elements, well, we have the same sidebar. We can use icons and shapes and graphics, but also here you have multiple photos. So if you want to convey something, you can use a photo as a background. Try not to use a photo where it doesn't have readability like this one. If you have a dark photo, you may want to use a I'm sorry for the dogs. my neighbor's dogs. And then use a more light font to convey the readability. You always want it to people to read the text that goes on a photo, like this one. And well, you can see, you click see all, and you have a lot of photos you can have and the free version, so it's all cool. And you can search for one if you want to, like here in nature. And you can find a whole universe of photos that you can use. And also, if you want to upload, like I was saying, you can go to the upload tag and just upload your photos and stuff. You can go to your downloads and upload your own photos. So that's a great asset if you want to take your own photos and take your live photos or something. You can add it on them. Also, you can reopen your own projects if you want to use a template you already used before. You can get to it in projects and just change the text and change the design in some way so that it doesn't look the same. Really, and to the most important part then is to download it or share it. To download, you can click here in share the design or invite people to edit with you. That's another great thing about Canva. You can work on it with multiple persons. So if you have like associates or a team, everyone can have access and everyone can edit and make their own designs and then share it with everyone. Then if you want to download it, you can click here and see the file type. If you are going to use it digitally for social media and stuff, I recommend using PNG, this one, suggested. And if you're going to print it or something, you just have to click PDF print, PDF standard, or just a JPEG or a GIF. Also, you can share it directly to Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. That's another great thing about Canva. You can share it instantly on your social media, so you don't have to download it and upload it from other devices or stuff. So that's what I can say about Canva, really. Here you have here you have apps you can install. So you can have translate videos, charts and stuff, and things that Canva makes for you. So make the most of using these apps because it's really great. So it will help you a lot on your design and your ventures as an entrepreneur. Let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so we have reached the end to this little Canva presentation. And I wanted you to remember that your creativity has no limit. So go out there, design your dreams, and make your mark on the world. If you have any questions or do you want to learn more about Canva or just inquiries, you can always write me at JJVRL and I will be happy and glad to help you. And that's all for my part. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Clementina, for that. I actually have a few, I think there's in the chat a couple of questions, and I'm going to give them to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they're right at the bottom. So I can start, just read them out loud for you, and you can let us know your thoughts. So the first question is if you can protect a design created on Canva. So that's like, I'm assuming it's more like intellectual property of something that you design on Canva. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, of course. Well, as intellectual
Property?
I got lost on the word property. I'm sorry. Very nervous. So apologies. So yeah, you can always protect your design. Also, if you are going to use a template, just so that's what I would do. Just try to make it as much yours as possible. What do I mean with this? Try to adapt the template most of what you like. Change colors, change pictures, change the elements where they are and stuff. Just use it as a guide because as a template, Canva really has templates for free, but it really doesn't get you that anyone else will use it just as you use it. So try to make it on your own and try to always if you're gonna use a template, try to change it as much as you can, and then you can see that nobody else is using it. And well, yeah, also if it's a free resource, most people are using templates for that. So what I can say is try to make your own with those ones. Maybe a little based on the template, but make it as your own, and then you can say it's your design and not really property of Canva per se.
Thank you for that. Yeah, because Canva also has specific templates that are like the intellectual property of Canva itself, especially if you have the paid version. The other question that came up was what happens if two people in the same industry choose the same templates? I mean, this can happen, right? Because it's freely available.
Yeah, as I was saying, it's really common that people use Canva template. So what you can do to not fall into the same category, you can just do that. Try to just pick a template and then you play with it like you want. You change the position of the text, you change the position of the image or the elements, and then you go like like Frankenstein your own template.
Great, thank you, Clement. And then there was another question, I think, which about explaining a little bit about the paid feature. So what advantages maybe do you have when you have the paid feature in Canva? What does this give you, perhaps, if you know?
Yeah, well, basically more assets. You gain access to more templates. You get access to more typographies and elements, designs, icons, photographs. You get more than you get for free. So I think it's useful, but I also think that you can make great things with what you can see on the free version. It all depends of what you want to make and what do you want to publish, and how much are you going to use Canva. If you are going to use it as an everyday tool, then I recommend that you pay the premium version because it has more assets you can use and more tools. But if you don't want to make that expense,
I think you muted yourself automatically.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you hear?
No, we heard you that it's better if you're going to use it all the time or more consistently to get the paid version, because that's going to give you more resources to use if you need it of a more basis. And then the other question I see here is some people use PixArt, which is an app to create videos. Can you use Canva to create videos? And I know you mentioned something about Reel, so maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, you can use Canva with videos as well. You have the templates for the videos, and you just have to replace your footage. So if you took your own video and stuff, you just have to select the template and upload your video, and automatically put it on the template for the videos. You have mobile videos, you have videos that are set for YouTube, and you have many sizings and formats for videos as well.
Perfect, great. Yeah, so there's a whole set of features that can be used for videos as well, which I think can also be useful for the entrepreneurs that have joined us.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Clement. I don't see any other questions at the moment.
Okay.
So if anybody has any questions for Clementina, we can share her email account and you can write to her. She is super experienced in graphic design and can provide advice. And we are really, really grateful for your time, Clement, and for joining us from Minnesota. So, Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Natalie, can you please mute? All right, thanks. So thank you so much, Clementina, and we will now move on to our next session of the afternoon. We're very excited now to also be building. Yes, thank you, Clementina. Everybody's thanking you online. Can she drop, Clement, maybe afterwards you can share your email?
Yeah, of course.
With the participants. Yes, thank you so much. Let's give her an applause.
Thank
She
you
did
for
fantastic.
all your kind messages. Just reading the chat.
And Clement said this was also a good experience for her for public speaking.
Yeah,
so you did great.
Thank you. As you can see, I struggle a lot with that, but here's to challenge myself.
Yes, thank you so much, Clement. So our next session, and Clement will be around. So if you want to write questions, feel free, and she might be able to address them in the chat. Our next session is going to be more on creating or strengthening capacities for digital literacy. And so I think all of you know how AI is taking over, the business world. We're talking about different tools like ChatGPT, for example. And we thought that it would be also interesting to provide you with a short training, an introduction to generative AI tools that can help you fast track some of your business processes. So for example, creating a marketing plan or creating captions for the social media posts you're going to create in Canva, to also perhaps create, revise certain text. There's a whole wealth of opportunities that AI can offer you, especially as small business owners. So we wanted to bring on two experts. So we will now hand over the floor to Dr. Sean Miller, who is an assistant lecturer in the Department of Computing at the University of the West Indies here in Jamaica, the Mona campus. And Dr. Miller is an AI enthusiast with a deep passion for the process of creation, and he's super into generative AI, and he will be leading us in the hands-on session today. So please, if you also have questions, don't hesitate to write them in the chat. And he will be accompanied by Christopher Darrow, who is an award-winning software developer. And in this role, he manages a software company to develop and create practical aesthetic websites. So this is also very valuable for your work in terms of marketing and communications. He has over 9 years of experience in the software development team of web developers at Adtelligence, and co-leads as well Youth Can Do It, teaching young people how to code and the power of data. So we are super excited to hand over the floor to Dr. Sean Miller and Christopher Darrow, who will be teaching us more about the power of AI to enhance your businesses. So thank you so much. And the floor is yours, Dr. Miller.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's not evening as yet, so it's good afternoon here. I hope you guys can hear me well. Everybody's hearing me, right? All right, nice. So we're definitely excited to present to you this particular presentation about generative AI and how it can help in entrepreneurship. I mean, just to give you some backstory, I actually started an entrepreneurial journey right out of university, and I wish some of these tools were available to me when I just started. because they will definitely make your life a lot easier, especially as you go through, as well as Paula stated just now, some of the business ideation, some help with writing, especially. So yeah, so I'll just share my screen as I pull up the presentation. So I'll be moving back and forth the presentation from the presentation to the Google Chrome, where I'll show you some examples of what I'm doing as we go. So I'll just try to share my entire screen. Also ensure I share my sound as well. And let's go. All right. All right. So maximizing generative AI for entrepreneurs. So what is generative AI? I mean, everybody here, I would assume that you have not, if you have not been living under a rock, you have heard about ChatGPT. So that's probably most persons' first introduction to what we call generative AI. So these generative AI, generative artificial intelligence, refers to algorithms that can literally create new content such as text, images, music, and even speech, right? So yeah, as we say, we can generate text, and we look at different tools that can generate text, novel text. And one of the interesting things about generative AI is that it will generate text in such a way that it's new every time. So you can't put in the same prompt twice and get the same result. And I found that interesting, and I'll tell you why a little bit more. You have art, so we can generate images. So if you're like me, and in the past you're never very good at designing anything or creating anything from an artistic point of view, then you'll be glad that generative AI works with art as well. So you can generate images from just descriptions that you type in, and the better your descriptions, the better the image that is generated. But then you might say to yourself, I'm not very good at describing things. Well, you have generative AI that can generate text to describe things that you then put inside an image generator to get a proper image. We also have generative AI that can generate music and songs. And if you remember me telling you about generative AI being unique, what you get out of a generative algorithm, it is completely new. It is unique. It has never been there before. It only exists simply because you place the prompt in there. And I'll also show you how you can generate speech from these algorithms, from these applications. You can literally type in text. And if you are probably not as fluent as you would like or articulate as you think you are, you probably want to use text to speech engine to actually generate the speech for your advertisement if you don't want your own voice to be used there. So you literally can go from start to finish, from ideation stage to actually marketing your product, and generative AI will be right there helping you along. Now, this right here is a verse that has always encouraged me on creative pursuits, because one thing about creative pursuits such as an entrepreneurial journey is that you have no idea where you will end up. You have no idea where you will end up. You don't know which direction you will go in, and sometimes you even step out into the unknown. But that is where the excitement is, and that is where victory also is, because if you don't try, you'll never succeed. And generative AI, sometimes you might sit down right in front of it and you don't know what to put in. Put in something. Put in something. The word, it says, by faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place, he would later receive as inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he's going. So even though you might not know exactly the end product or the end goal of what you're trying to do, go ahead anyway. You have an idea on your heart, you have a thought in your head, go ahead anyway. Now, let's look at text generation. So AI can generate coherent and contextually relevant written pieces. So it's not just randomly, well, it is randomly technically if you were getting to the nitty-gritty of how the algorithm works, but it's random, but it's coherent. It's random, but it makes sense. That's what we're really getting at right here. And one of the examples that you guys, all of you guys should know is ChatGPT. We can actually put things into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will actually generate information, generate text that makes actual sense. But what I want to bring you guys through today is like, how can it be used for your journey right here? How can it be used as you pursue your entrepreneurial dreams? Now, one thing that I want to actually point out as well is an application called Olama, right? You guys remember that name? For the more technically inclined among us, I would recommend looking into Olama, because this is a framework that allows you to run a large language model on your device, on your computer itself. So whereas ChatGPT is hosted by OpenAI, and when you put your information into ChatGPT, it's actually being used for training, and that information is no longer private. It's out there in the web somewhere. So if you, for whatever reason, want to keep your queries or information personal, private rather, you want to have it on your local machine, the Olama service can help you right there. With if you're, as I say, if you're more technically inclined, then you can use Olama for that purpose. And when we're done right here, you'll get my information so that if anybody wants to dive into that aspect of life or that particular software application, then we can talk. And then also we have Gemini by Google. Now, let me tell you, there are a lot more. There's a number of text generators out there. These are the top ones. Now let me put a distinction on Olama. Olama isn't really a large language model itself. It's a platform that allows you to use large language models on your device, right? So let's get into this. So the first example that I want to demonstrate to you guys, I want to show you, I want to encourage you to actually try it out for generative AI is role playing, right? This is where you actually give the large language model, that's what we call ChatGPT, Gemini, and the other large language models. Excuse me. LLM. So if you hear me say LLM, that's what I mean, a large language model. So if you actually give the LLM a persona, you give it a role to play, and then tell it that they give it instructions that you want it to do, and then you begin to interact with it, it will play that role, and it will ideate with you. It will actually give you suggestions based on the role that you gave it to play. And that can, in the very beginning, in the early stages of ideation, in thinking about how to market your particular product or service, you can actually use the large language model in that way. Now, the large language model that you are using, whether it be ChatGPT, Gemini, it has been trained on a large corpus of information, large corpus of text. So it has a lot of information. So you role playing with it, you might uncover things that you probably didn't know. You might uncover restrictions or obstacles or even opportunities that you weren't thinking of. And that's why I want to encourage you to play with this thing. You have no idea where it will take you. Now, the first example that I want you guys to play with or follow me through with is role playing. And it says, in this example, I'm saying that you are a farming business expert. So this is what I'm telling the large language model. You are a farming business expert. I will pitch to you an idea, and you will scrutinize my plans and ideas in an effort to refine the business idea, giving suggestions on how to improve the plan. So let's just take this right here. And if we go to, not that, ChatGPT, so if you just type in ChatGPT, you'll have to sign up. I recommend actually just getting a Gmail account if you don't already have a Gmail account, because it's easy to log into these websites with a Gmail account. Just say sign in with Google. So that's a side note right there. So if I come to this web page right now, and right here, this is a chat feature. So I'm going to give the large language model a role. So I press enter, and it says, absolutely, I am ready to hear your farming business idea. Please go ahead and share the details, and I'll provide feedback and suggestions to help you refine and improve it. All right, so we have that right there. Now, if I go ahead and note that the last time I ran this, so I ran this even before I'm giving this start now, and this is what it said, and it pretty much the same thing, but not exactly the same thing. Now, this is the response that I gave it. I tell it that I want to design an outfit. So let me just go back to the slideshow. Yes. Oh, not that. It's not what I wanted. Reset. All right. So if I go to the slideshow, yes. So it says, I want to design an outfit that would help farmers to be more effective in the fields. With this outfit, they will be able to stay out in the fields for longer periods without getting tired. The suit will provide protection from the elements, built-in cooling system, and storage for food and water. What do you think? So that's me just giving it a random business idea, however outlandish it may be. So I'm going to ask you what he thinks. Now, it says this, so it gives a lot of information. It gives all of the information that you think it would. It tells me, all right, this is a good plan. So we need to understand the needs of farmers. Now, this is very interesting to me, and a bit of backstory as well. One of the most important books that I've ever read as it relates to entrepreneurship is called Nail It, Then Scale It. And this was one of the most important points. You have to understand if people actually want what you're selling. So we'd have to do our market research. So it's encouraging us to make sure that we understand the needs of farmers, and then we do a technical feasibility and costs, market analysis, product design and testing, sustainability, market distribution, and it gives you next steps. So it really just outlines everything that it thinks are from all of the information that it has garnered throughout the years or across the internet. It put all of that right here based on what you have said. I know that it's within the context of farming. Nice. So if I go back to the presentation here, and I'll show you what it gave me last time. So it gave me something similar last time. It's not everything it gave me. I just pulled out a few. So it told me that it was a good idea. Spoke about cost and affordability. So note that it gave me actually different stuff, but in general, the same thing, and it included next steps as well. So I think that would be interesting and actually important for individuals who are just starting out on their entrepreneurship journey, right? If you have an idea, you're not sure where your next steps are, you're not sure what to do next, you're not sure if this idea even makes sense. Now, still on the text generation, I want to show you a feature that's on some of these models. So some of these models can actually accept files, and they accept images. One of the things that we can do, it's seen right here. So this right here that you're seeing on the screen is actually a small pouch or bag designed by my aunt. She actually developed these. She does arts and crafts, and she's very good with that, and she puts it on Etsy to sell it online and stuff like that. So she wanted me to create a marketing plan or give her some information on how to really market this thing online. And I said, I have no idea. I did not go to school to study that, but I know about large language models. So I took an image of that, and then I asked the large language model, suggest an online marketing plan for this product and who would be most likely to want it. So note that I didn't even tell it that it was a bag. And then it spit out very useful information. It told me the type of person that would want this, young adults and teens who like trendy accessories, women age 18 to 35 looking for versatile bags, students, nice. And it listed out our marketing strategies. So let me show you exactly what this process looks like. So it would be upload from computer, and the bag image is right here. And then put the prompt right here, suggest an online marketing plan. Put in the image and see if it actually goes through. And it tells me the product in your image is a small zip pouch with distinctive pattern, distinctive geometric pattern. And then they told me about the target audience, the marketing plan. Still going. Oh, this is a very detailed marketing plan. Create a brand story. Build an e-commerce platform. So develop a compelling brand narrative around. Let's say I don't even know how to create a brand narrative. So suggest. So let's ask it to create a brand story for me. So let's see what it says if it brand story. And it just generate information. So now one of the things that I want to point out, is that generative AI it's not here to do the job of an entrepreneur. It's here to assist, right? So you guys, you have to treat these algorithms, treat these systems as assistants, right? Underpaid assistants because they're AI. So you have to go over their work, you have to check it again, you have to look into it. Because one of the things that artificial intelligence, specifically generative AI, is known to do is what we call hallucinate. So you have to make sure that there are no errors, there are nothing that you don't want in it, right? For example, well, not example, but if you look right here, it says ChatGPT can make mistakes, check important information. So you want to go over this because even though it's very useful, it's not perfect. All right, so it just gave me a brand story right there, just like that. Just by giving it an image, I didn't even tell it that it was a bag. Nice. Now, another way to use text generation is social media posts. So you can generate text, image, videos tailored for social media. And for this bag, I asked it to write a short social media post for this bag. And it gave me this nice little post right here, add a pop of style to your everyday essentials with, or chic, geometric, like it just goes off on it. And it even put in these, what do you call these again? Emojis or icons in it that would be consistent with typical social media posts, right? Let's see what it gives me this time. So if I say write, so I'm putting the exact same prompt, write a short social media post for this bag. And it's a new arrival, meet the latest, oh gosh. And I want you to note something here. It says meet the latest addition to Collier's finds. Where did it get this from? If you're able to see the image, so if I am able to bring up this image, you'll see that that's the name of her company. I didn't tell it that that's the name of her company, but it figured it out because, hey, this looks like a logo. So why not put it in there? So it created a social media post based on what it saw in the image. And that I think will be very useful, and it's encouraging you to put a link here to your shop. It put these hashtags right here, because that's what social media is all about, hashtags. So I hope you're seeing the possibilities. I hope you're seeing how it could make your life 1,000 times easier. And even as I come to an end, I know that Chris will show you even more ways AI can be useful. Now, a next example can generate current blog posts as well. I asked it to, based on all that you know of my product, write a detailed blog post that will engage and inspire readers to get the product. And this, for this particular one, I was using the farming product, and it says revolutionize your experience with our innovative farmer's outfit, and it gave me a long blog post, well, not very long, but a really engaging blog post that I could, with minor tweaks, that's my blog post for my farming product right there. Now, let's talk about image generation, because all of that was just text generation. So we have tools like Leonardo.ai, DALL-E, Midjourney that can create realistic and abstract images for whatever you may need as it relates to marketing your product, showing or ideating in creating designs for your product, and before you even get to a physical prototype. Now, the first tool that I want to mention is Leonardo.ai, and this is my favorite image generator because it has a lot of tweaks that you can make to actually get the exact image that you want. The other is DALL-E. I think it's there at 3 now, but this image is DALL-E 2, that this coming from the same persons that created ChatGPT, so OpenAI. I haven't used that much. And they also have Midjourney. Midjourney is a bit more technical. You'd have to have a Discord account to use that, but I'll give you some examples from Leonardo.ai. Now I'll show you how I actually created images for my farming journey product that I just created. Now, before we even move over to the image generation, I actually use the text generator to generate a prompt that I will then place in the image generator. So I asked the ChatGPT to generate a prompt for an image of a farmer in this product. And I just said this product because in the conversation above, I was talking about the farming product. And then it said, it gave me a prompt. It gave me a prompt that I can now put into an image generator. And this is the prompt that it gave me. Create an image of a farmer wearing a high-tech farming outfit, and it gave me the details. So one thing you will find about image generator is that the more detail you put, is the better it is. But you have diminishing returns if you try to put in too much. It might confuse the model. So there's a balance that you will probably need to play around to see, all right, what's the best ratio of detail to number of words that I might have. And these are the images that actually came out. These are the images. So if I just try to hide these meeting controls, hide floating, yes. So if I go to, why is it coming up? Hide, yes. So if I go to Leonardo.ai, you will see it right here, and I would have to launch the app. So you'd have to create an account. I already have an account, and then I would go into image creation. So these right here that you're seeing right now are images that were created by other persons on the platform that have made their images public. Now, these are the images that I have generated, and this right here is the first set of image that I generated from the prompt that you saw, and I asked it to generate the farming outfit, and this is what it came up with. Now, if you ask me, I'm not a designer or anybody that is artistically inclined, visually that is, and this looks nice to me. I don't know about you, but this looks like it can go into an advertisement right now. And there's another example. It's even giving you from different perspectives. That's looking real nice right there. This is the next. This is the other one. Yeah. So just from a simple prompt, all of this, and I didn't even have to create the prompt myself. I just asked Based on the conversation that I was having with ChatGPT before, I asked it to generate a prompt that I could put in an image generator, and it gave me this. I also asked it to generate prototypes of this design. I mean, you know, it's not exactly the same, and that's the thing. That's another thing to note, that this is just the ideation stage. It's just a stage where you're trying to nail it. Essentially, you're trying to nail the idea, you're trying to come up with a viable product that would actually be useful. And I kind of like this design over here. It's more sleek and looks nice, right? And then I ask it to generate realistic images specifically for advertising. And no one, if I did not tell you that this was generated AI, you would probably believe that this was a real guy. So let's look at this guy. You'd probably believe that this was a real guy. I mean, how do you know this was fake? AI, I mean, back in the days, well, I say back in the days, like a year ago or 8 months ago, the fingers, AI usually get the fingers they usually fail at fingers. But these fingers look real nice to me. The eyes are probably a little bit off, but you wouldn't be able to tell that at a glance, and you're not scrutinizing the images in an ad, are you? And realistic images right there. So I think this is a really, really good time to be an entrepreneur. There are a lot of tools that will make your life extremely easy. Extremely easy. Easier, I should say, because it's still going to be challenging. Now, another application that I want to bring you guys' attention to is the ability to generate music. And one of the things that is usually an issue for creating social media ads or creating ads, and you want to drop a little bit of music to it, is that you usually have to pay for the music, right? The music that is generated with artificial intelligence is new music, essentially. It has never been heard before. It is generated by you in your specific context, and that will be unique to you, right? Let me see if this will play. Are you guys hearing?
Yes.
Right. This instrumental was created based on the prompts that I had before. I tell you that generate a musical instrumental for a farming advertisement. And the tool that we use to do that is called I Love Songs.ai. So you guys can go and actually try to generate some music right there. Right? You guys can go ahead and try to generate music right there. So what you would do, I Love Songs.ai. So you can either put lyrics or instrumental. In the previous example that you guys just saw, it was just instrumental. So I went on instrumental. But now, this right here that you're seeing out in the fields where the sun beats down, this piece of text right here was actually generated by ChatGPT to be placed into the music generator. And I will now try to generate a song. Let's put indie pop. It might take a while, so I'll continue farming. So generate a song about farming using a male voice. So while that generates, we'll see what happens later down in the presentation. Now, the speech generation is another important thing that I want you guys to look at as well, because I asked ChatGPT to generate an advertisement with narration for this farming equipment, and this is what it came up with. Farming is hard work. Long hours under the scope. But you don't want to hear my voice, no, do you? You want to hear voices that could actually be passed off as
Farming is hard. Farming is hard work. Long hours under the scorching sun, battling the elements, and pushing your body to its limits.
Yeah, but that right there is actually ChatGPT. But rather OpenAI, they have a text to speech engine. but I want you guys to be introduced to another one that I think is a bit ahead of ChatGPT as it relates to text to speech, but it looks like our music has been created for us already. Okay, so let's hear what this is like.
Out in the field where the sun beats down, farmers work hard, no time to slow down. But now there's a suit that's changing the game, keeps you cool and dry, no matter the rain. Farming made easy with comfort and style, with pockets and cool, and you can go the extra mile. Work all day long, keep your tools by your side. In a farming suit, you'll wear your pride.
Oh my, well, this is the first time I'm hearing that. Just generated it, and I think that's a really good advertisement, right? I mean, you can pay money for that. I can sell this to somebody and say, hey, this is really, really good. So I wanted to know that it's specific to the farming device that I just randomly created just now. So guys, you have no excuse. You have no excuse when it comes to this entrepreneurial journey, and you have every tool at your disposal to really go out there and conquer the world. So that's very nice right there. Forgot my train of thought. Oh, so we were talking about the speech generation. I wanted to show you a platform called 11 Labs, and all of these links, you can get them after the talk. I'll ensure that they're available to you. And I put in the text that I want the speech generator to actually do. And this is what I got.
Farming is hard work, long hours under the scorching sun, battling the elements and pushing your body to its limits. But what if there was a way to make your work easier and more efficient?
Can you imagine this with the actual song that we generated right here? So let me try and get this together. And then try.
Farming is hard work, long hours under the scorching sun, battling the elements and pushing your body to its limits. But what if there was a way to make your work easier and more efficient? Introducing the revolutionary farming outfit designed for comfort, durability, and maximum productivity. Stay cool with our advanced cooling system. Keep everything you need at your fingertips with integrated storage, and move freely with our ergonomic design. Don't let the elements slow you down. Invest in gear that works as hard as you do. Transform your farming experience today. Visit our website to learn more and order your high-tech farming outfit now.
Right, guys, I did not create anything right. I was just randomly saying, hey, farming outfit. All of this has been generated. In fact, I generated all of this today. And I really want to encourage you guys to really step out into the unknown, use the tools at your disposal to get the job done, and really make an impact with your idea and with what the Lord has really laid on your heart to really go out and get it done. Now I'll hand over to Mr. Durrell as he speaks about building businesses with AI.
I think I'm gonna need that song underneath anything I say now, because that was
Yeah,
that was
that's
really good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. No, man, it was really excellent. I am happy to follow that up, because what we're gonna discuss now ties in perfectly with what you were just sharing. So if you can exit and then go back into slideshow. I think the presentation might have a couple of changes at the end. And what I'll do is I'll do my best to give examples of how we're using AI with our clients and within our own company. So the company is called Adtelligent. We are about 6 years old, and my role with the company is head of web development. So I have been with the company for 6 years since the start, but I've also been very much a heavy proponent of AI as we have, done the work that we've been doing. So let's jump to that first slide. So just to start off, and this is going to be very much a rapid fire discussion, but I know that we have about 100 people on the call, and not all of you would be current entrepreneurs, from my understanding. Some of you might be wondering, how does this presentation even have anything to do with me? Because I work in a business. I'm somebody's employee right now. And so important to note, there is entrepreneurship, and there's another word called entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is basically you're the entrepreneur within an organization. So you may not have full equity in that business, but you are someone who is pushing innovation within that business. And the words that go alongside entrepreneurship, a lot of them are very much an overlap with entrepreneurship. Right? So whether you're an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, this is going to be relevant to you. Now, the first myth that we have to get rid of off the bat is that AI will not create a business for you, right? If you don't have a viable business, then it's not going to create one for you. And the reason for that is what we have on the next slide. Any business that you're creating or have can only be viable basically with a few things that you have to focus on. You have to have value that you're delivering. You have to have people to purchase it or a market, and you have to have a way to deliver it. So AI cannot create a business for you if there's no value. It could come up with ideas, but at the end of the day, you have to make sure that what you're delivering is viable enough to somebody else for them to buy into it. And buy-in doesn't mean that it's necessarily with their credit card, although most of the times it will be. If you have a software that's working for a nonprofit and that's just being offered to kids, then there's no money really that the kid is paying you, but their buy-in is that they use the tool over and over. And that is your business. So have to have value delivered. You have to have a market that is purchasing it or willing to purchase it. And you have to have a way for them to get it. And what I have on the right here is a tool called the Business Model Canvas. And this will be very useful to anybody on the call who's still evaluating a business idea that they haven't started yet, right? So say you haven't created any business and you want to go into the farming business like Dr. Miller showed, then this chart here, which is freely available online, will allow you to start thinking deeply about each of the areas on the business. So who would be the key partners in your farming business? Are you going to go directly to customers' houses, or are you going to sell to the supermarkets? What are the key activities in your farming business and the resources that you need to do it? Now, the good news is that AI can help you fill it out. But at the end of the day, the business will be viable only if you have those things. Value, which is farm fresh goods on my table, a market, and a way to get it to them. So that said, let's say you do have a business model. Let's say you have something that is actually viable. So you have a market. So on the next slide, we'll see that there's very much a way for you to use AI and leverage it to do exactly what it is that we're talking about here. So let's jump right into it. How do you use AI? How can you use AI in your existing business? Because we looked at a lot of examples. One helpful question that I have thought through is, what would I do? Not what would John Brown do, but what would I do if I had 100 hours in my day? Right? So what would I do if I had 100 hours in my day? Well, I was reading the comments and probably I'd spend a couple of those hours generating new albums of music, right? I could go through multiple songs in minutes. I'd also make sure that the ideas that I'm coming up with are actually viable. So I'd throw them back and forth with AI. So one of the things is, what would you do more of if you had more time or more hands to do it? That's a good way to think about how you can integrate AI into your business. And that's what we're talking about, your specific business. And so we find that you can use generative AI as a sounding board in as wide a way as possible. But when it comes to going deep, that's going to be up to you. What do I mean by that? Imagine that you were working in your business with the hardest working, smartest intern that you know. Now, they don't know the ins and outs of your business. They don't know how you talk to your clients. They don't know that all your clients prefer that you come to them door to door and knock and say, hey, we have this new product. All they know is that you have this business and that they can do research. If you're working with that super hardworking intern, anything you tell them to research, they will look up on their own. So if you ask them to research what are the best trends for new farming products or the best new farming tool to increase your output, they can go find that. But at the end of the day, the direction of the business has to come from you. And so I say Gen AI for breadth or going wide, but human beings are going to be for depth. And AI can quickly generate lots of ideas. We just went through that. And so I'm not going to belabor that, but humans have to provide the depth and strategic planning that AI lacks. Now I should have like a little sub point there that says for now, because soon, or maybe not so soon, but there's going to be a time where AI will do each task for you and all we do is sit back. But that's not what this presentation is about. So let's go to the next slide. So here are a couple practical ways that we use AI right now. We use it in deck preparation. So a deck is what we would prepare to present to a client with the solution that we're building out. We use it in user persona research, coding, copywriting, which is writing what's going to be on the websites or also what's going to be in the videos, music generation, which we just saw, image generation, voiceovers, storyboarding, social media video creation, and meeting transcription. Now, I saw a couple of questions in the chat about free tools. I'm with you on that. So what I can do is I'll share a list of some of the tools that we use at the end. I can drop it in the chat. Some are free, some are paid. But I want to just highlight 4 of them that might be relevant to you all right now. User persona research is a big one. This is similar to what Dr. Miller had demoed at the start of the call, where he said, boy, this is the business I have. What can I do? Who is going to be my customer? User persona research is very good for that. And you can use tools like ChatGPT just to generate that off the bat. You have music generation, which we looked at just a while ago. And that's very important because while we haven't used it commercially for our clients as yet, we still would go onto sites like Artlist, which is like a library for musicians to upload for companies to use. We have used music generation just internally to see what it could be like. And so music generation through platforms like Suno is very powerful because as somebody asked, do I own the music? You own the music. So instead of paying royalties for the rest of the time that you have the jingle created for your ad, that's your music. Say you're creating a video game. One of the trickiest things for video game creators is getting that music for the video game. Now it's no longer a problem, right? Video game music is definitely going to be AI generated very soon. Voiceovers. So we looked at 11 Labs. That is one that we have used for clients. Somebody asked if you have a Bahamian accent. You can have any accent you train it on. So besides the library of the built-in voices where you have like Australian, British, American, the more common ones, you can actually train 11 Labs on your own voice, right? Some of you just got creeped out. No, it's not as creepy as you think. What you'll do is upload your own voice and a couple samples, and it will be able to generate something similar to what your voice sounds like. So if you have an accent, it's going to pick up some of that accent and put it into the voiceover. Definitely something to try. And then meeting transcription. Boy, I can't stress this one enough. If any of you do Zoom or Google Meets or any type of meeting with your clients, meeting transcription is a game changer. It's been a game changer for me because what happens is you're on a meeting like this one, like this Zoom meeting, and Zoom has it built in, so you can turn on AI Companion. And at the end of the meeting, it's going to show you a summary of everything you discussed. And it even creates a section at the end called action items and next steps. So imagine coming to a 4-hour meeting or a long meeting with a client, and you get to the end of the call and it says, okay, this is what you agreed to do. And this is what we're going to do it by. This is the deadline. This is when the next meeting should be. Absolute game changer. So meeting transcription is a powerful one. If you don't want to use Zoom or you use another platform, I have used a platform called Clap, CLAAP.io. Very cool. It's just like Zoom, but you can upload past meetings or it can automatically record your Google Meets meeting, and then you get the notes on it. So as Dr. Miller said, these tools are supposed to be there to enhance your business activities, right? These are not to replace you. These are to work with you. You'll notice on the right-hand side, there's a big old plus humans. And that's because very much so, human effort is still very important in everything we do. There's nothing here except maybe coding, right? Because AI models are trained, a lot of the AI models are trained on a lot of text. So out of the gate, your code either works or it doesn't work. And in many cases, you can just copy paste it. So maybe coding is the only one that you can just go straight with it. But each of these is going to need fine tuning by you to actually say, this is the final product that I want. You'd be very risky to just copy and paste what you have from one of these generated models and send it back to the client or put it in the public or send it to your team. And so human intervention, definitely important to go deep. And so that's very important, right? I'll give you a quick story, which is the next slide, which is I had a conversation with some young guys who were asking a similar question that some of you might be thinking, like, do we actually need to actually go to school if AI can do all of these things? Do we actually need to study? And it was a technical polytechnic. And the advice I gave them is the advice I still share with everyone, which is that they had asked specifically about game development and, you know, if they wanted to do something like a football game, for example. That was the example we discussed. Yes, AI can create the 3D model for the football. It can do some of the physics, but there's certain things AI cannot do because it does not have human depth. Whether it's creating the reactions in the stand or the animations that are on the net, right? You want it to be as real and experienced as possible. And so while AI can go wide and help you very much like that intern, only you can go very deep on your business and guide the AI in what it should be doing. So we definitely need to go deep. And we're going to come back to that at the end. So in terms of the rest of this, because I don't have any cool demos, so I'm going to be very specific on what we're going to talk about today, which is enhancing your AI interactions with precise feedback. And this is something that we have learned here at Intelligent, because when we started off, we used ChatGPT like the next man. We saw it on YouTube and we said, okay, create a business plan for an egg company. And while that's a good way to start, that is not going to be the way that you get the best out of Gen AI, because generative AI works best with details. You have to be detailed. You have to be very, very deep. It's not going to get tired of you. It's not going to, you know, say, boy, stop talking to me. Gen AI will continue to take as many details as you give it, and it will refine itself based on that. And one of the things that's very helpful to us is that the same principles we would use for giving feedback to a person, we have that same overlap with giving feedback to Gen AI. So good feedback. Good feedback is precise, good feedback is informative, and good feedback is correctable, right? Precise. Good feedback is fact-based, right? So I'm going to give an example of good or versus bad. And in the bad is going to be typically an attack. And we're going to go human to human. So A bad example of what is not feedback or is more of an attack is, somebody comes late to a meeting and your first response is, you're always late, right? You have not made clear that you see a problem. You have not made clear that the problem is that they were late for that meeting. And while it might be slightly correctable, it is not the best way to actually deliver that feedback. If you received a document from your coworker that you expected to be 25 pages long and detailed about the marketing strategy, and they gave you back a one-page Canva graphic, you need to say something more than, this is terrible, what is this, right? Because by saying that, you're not telling the person how they should correct the activity. You're just doing an attack. Criticism can be negative, but it can also be correctable. You can say that, boy, you did not put enough effort into this document because I can't take this and put this into practice. That would be a criticism, but it's something that the person can correct. And you can give feedback as well in the very same way. So good feedback is precise. It's fact-based, so you're giving specific things that either went wrong or went right. It's informative because you're filling it with details, right? So good feedback is not typically one sentence, right? You go into the reasons and you say, this is good because, or this is bad because in that way, you're either reinforcing what is good, or you're making clear the criticism of what is not good, what is bad. And it's correctable. If you tell me that, you give me feedback that, let me use something safe. If you give me feedback that, boy, the way that I speak annoys you because of my Bajan accent that is slightly Jamaicanized, right? Then what am I gonna do about that? The only thing I can do is stop talking and text you. But that is not something that I would typically be able to correct, right? Because there's nothing that I can necessarily do. And so when you're giving feedback to your team, you don't tell them things that they can't do. You don't tell them that, boy, I need you to come to work tomorrow in 1 minute, even though you live 4 hours away, because that is demotivating to a human because it's unreachable. So take all of that, and now we're going to apply it to AI, right? So on the next slide, you'll see that that same level of detail is what makes a good prompt for AI. So instead of just saying create a business plan, you go deeper. You say, boy, this is 2024. We've noticed that there's a heightened inflation and people are suffering finding new rentals. And one of the things that we want to do is make this closed to the Bahamas. So this solution must be tied to those who are Bahamian. And it must be something that persons 18 to 29 can go for. What solution can we build that will allow renters between 18 to 29 in the Bahamas who live in Nassau to find affordable rental options? You see how AI is going to have a lot better chance than I want to build our rental software, because you've been precise, you've been informative, and if it gives you something back that you don't like, and it says, boy, Nassau is in Cayman, for example, then you say, no, Nassau is actually in Bahamas, right? This is the area that we want to focus, and so it's correctable as well. And so just a little bit of the under the hood knowledge is that when we talk to ChatGPT and we say, boy, give me a business plan, what a lot of the LLMs do is they convert our prompt into a question. So that's what they do in between giving us the answer. So if you say something like, give me that business plan, the LLM might change it into something like, what would a business plan like this look like? So it turns it into a question format rather than our statements. And that is using all of the context that we've given it, or lack thereof. So if you remember one thing from this part, for your business, be as detailed as possible in your prompts to the generative AI. Don't be disappointed when you get something that is, very top level and surface level when you didn't give it any detail. AI will not get tired of you. Okay, cool. Some of you needed to hear that. AI will not get tired of you. one of my coworkers would say that he tried. He tried to make it get frustrated, and boy, you know, well, actually he had to switch to another one because one of them actually got frustrated because he asked, you know, why is this still wrong? So he switched to Google Gemini. But typically AI will not get tired of you. All right, so we're wrapping up. A lot of you are hearing some of this for the first time. And you might have some questions, like, what are some of the concerns? Or are there any concerns is the better question. There are. So, Dr. Miller, if you go to the next slide for me, there are 3 typical concerns that people have regarding Gen AI. And it's really about that thought of, I don't want to be the guinea pig for using this tool. I don't want to be the first person to try this out in my industry. I'm going to wait till other people do it because of, and then they fill in the blank. One of the concerns is safety, as well as regulation. Now, it really depends on the region that you're in. So the EU has started drafting their past drafting, their AI regulation and how AI can be used within the EU regions. And then safety-wise, there are regulations going up around that as well, like how to protect persons from negative generation. For example, a lot of the tools that we just mentioned have what are called guardrails. So guardrails, meaning there's certain things it will not generate for you. And that is baked into the software to ensure that people can't research how to make a bomb at home, for example. Right? So that is something that a lot of the AI tools are focusing on to make sure that their tools are easy to use. Originality is another one. Somebody asked a really good question. Can you own what is generated? Yes, you can. But one of the criticisms of a lot of Gen AI products is that they're sampling so heavily from existing art or existing text that people are wary, especially the original creators, that their work is being devalued. And, you know, there are many takes on that, but that is just something to be aware of. The works are original in the sense that they don't exist anywhere else on the internet, so it's yours. But there is a question about if you sample from other text or other artwork, is it fully original? And that's something to be aware of. And then accuracy, Dr. Miller touched on it, which is that sometimes these models hallucinate. Sometimes they'll generate images that are not representative of anything you prompted. And sometimes the text that they give you is not accurate. So it's always important for you to double check. So these might have been some of the concerns you had in mind. The point is that a lot of these tools are thinking about this in the way that they're being built out. Here's an interesting stat that might surprise some of you. So in terms of adoption, you might be surprised to know that February of this year, only 23% of US adults had ever used ChatGPT. Now, mind you, ChatGPT came out in 2022, November, December of 2022. And over a year later, the fastest growing software in history in terms of monthly users had only been used by 23% of adults in the US. And so if you are jumping onto this platform now or using AI now, you're late in the quote unquote sense, but you're also very early because a lot of persons still have those concerns and have not decided to try it out at all. And on the next slide, this is a curve that we call the technology adoption life cycle. Some of you are like, boy, I didn't want no class tonight. Sorry. This is very important though, because where we are is what is called early adopters to early majority. So you have early adopters, which are the persons who will use a software or a tool, and they're kind of forgiving if it has bugs or if it hallucinates, for example, they'll still use it again. Then there's a group called early majority, and these are persons who are mainstream. So like media companies, from the time you see media companies using AI to generate articles, you know you're in early majority because they're not typically able to take as many risks. They can't risk it as much as the innovators and early adopters. So from my understanding, we have passed the chasm for generative AI. which means that we're going into the place where many people are using it, but we're not at the laggard stage. Laggards is like smartphones, for example. There are many people, and you might know them, who are skeptical about using a smartphone. But we've reached a point where almost everyone has a smartphone. I think Jamaica has a 3.5 million smartphone in terms of the penetration for the company. And there are only 3 million people here. So riddle me that. But that's where we are in terms of technology adoption. So you are in the early majority stage where you're getting to use these tools to enhance your business, but you're not late to the party. You know, I was surprised myself, but last week I was logging into the Digicel app and I was looking at the different people that were in the graphics on the Digicel ads. And I realized that Digicel is now using AI generated art to generate their ads. And if you've done Gen AI long enough, you can see a generated art image, as Dr. Miller said. But you can see that these are Gen AI art. And so, you know, if the biggest telecoms company in the region, as far as I know, is using Gen AI to design their art, there's really no reason that you guys can't get away with it as well. Okay, I hope I've convinced you because, as I said, I'm echoing Dr. Miller in that some of you need to just start, just try this out. And here are a few quick tips in terms of how you can maximize using Gen AI in your business, especially with feedback. So Dr. Miller, almost to the last one. So next slide, please. So 4 quick tips. First, I mentioned already, if you're going to excel and pass your competitors, which is also why you're here, you need to study deep, right? There's no real reason or thought to say AI is going to do the work for you. You still need to go deep in your field. There's a Bible verse that says, study and show yourself approved, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, right? So you need to go deep because you still need to give direction to the AI. One of my favorite tips, talk to the AI. So we've showed a lot of typing examples, but the ChatGPT app allows you to actually talk to it. So you can get responses back. And I find it very useful when you're trying to, you know, sound these ideas and get feedback quickly. And you don't have all the words ready. You just talk to the app and then it will give you the response as if you're having a conversation. Dr. Miller showed prompt engineering where you ask ChatGPT how to prompt something else. And then the last one is if you are technical, one of the things to look into is how to build your own models using things like Olama, where you can train them on your own data. And lastly, just get started, right? That is one of the calls of this call. Get started and try out some of these tools. All right.
Yeah, so thanks, Chris. And I just want to encourage each person here to really just go out there and use all the information that you have heard and learned and get it done. Blessings. Over to you, Paula.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miller and Christopher. It has been really amazing, and we've seen like the interaction on the chat. I think you have shared tools that perhaps we didn't know about, and how really AI can be used for the benefit of small businesses. And also, Chris, how you have highlighted the importance of, you know, giving the correct feedback, asking the correct questions, really focusing on your market or on your business so you can get the best results, right? There's a few questions on the chat, and I know that you were both interacting and addressing them already. But one question that came up is do you have any suggestions of what not to do with AI? So are there any don'ts for when using AI?
Well, the major don't that I would suggest when using AI is don't take its word for gospel. You have to check. Don't just take what you get from the AI and use it. Don't just do that. You have to tweak it, especially when you're generating text, because you have to ensure that it's actually what you want and it's actually representing your brand. Because if you generate a large amount of text and there's something inside of it that can be damaging to your brand, then That's it. You need to protect your brand as well. And as stated before, hallucination is a real thing. So that's one of the don'ts I would say about AI. Don't simply take it as a word from God.
Great, thank you. Chris, do you have anything to contribute?
Cosign, and this is one of those contrarian answers. Don't be afraid of AI. I don't want you to sit on it and say, oh no, this is the end. Try the tools and figure out how they apply to your situation, but don't be afraid.
Great, thank you so much. And then there's also information. Well, some people are going to rewatch the presentation. They're eager to test some of the tools that you mentioned on the slides. This will be available. So the recording will be available. So you'll be able to have access to the different tools that were mentioned. And so, yeah, with that, we want to thank you so much for your time, for being with us, for sharing your expertise and your knowledge. And we are very grateful for your time. Thank you very much.
Blessings. You're welcome.
Blessings.
Thank you. So now we're going to move on to another session. And we have seen, the presentation by Dr. Miller and Mr. Darrell were excellent. I think there's a lot for you now to analyze and digest, and multiple tools that can be used, as well as the tips on how to use them correctly, without having the fear of testing them, right? So that's one of the takeaways, is to test to see how it works for you. And now, in order to transition, we also wanted to share inspiring stories from entrepreneurs in the Bahamas. And so we are very happy to be able to share or introduce Miss Gillian Curry Williams, who is a renowned Bahamian fashion designer and who has made a significant impact in advancing entrepreneurship for women. She is a trailblazer, and we're very, very excited that she was able to say yes to be here with you and to share her journey with us today. And we hope that it's inspirational, and it also encourages you to continue to follow your dream in your entrepreneurial venture. So Ms. Curry Williams founded Simple Elegance Couture in 1987 and later rebranded it as Remilda Rose Designs. Known for her exquisite craftsmanship, she also created the Fabric of Hope to support cancer survivors. Ms. Curry Williams founded the Fabric of Hope Foundation and the Caregivers Network of the Bahamas, securing the nation's first Caregivers Month proclamation. Her contributions have earned her multiple awards, including the National Honors Award, Order of Merit in 2024. So we are beyond excited to give the floor to Ms. Curry Williams for her presentation. It's on mute.
There was once a little girl shooting marbles, spinning tops, and catching frogs and lizards with her brothers at the age of 10. 4 years later, at 14, her interest shifted to clothes, more so sewing. Little did she know this would lead to her going off to college and pursuing a dream that only she could fathom. As her parents, especially her mother, was not on board with their daughter pursuing a degree in fashion. Today, she's an internationally acclaimed fashion designer. That little girl is me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am thankful and grateful for this opportunity to share some of my story with you. I really, quite honestly, didn't know where to start because there was just so much that I could share, and the time allotted, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to start at my very first, what I guess should have turned out to my bad experience, but the Lord worked it out for my good. When I had first graduated college, because I went to college twice, I started my business and I knew I wanted to do couture work. But that was not to be in the onset. So I decided to do uniforms, company uniforms. And you had to bid on uniforms, and I bid at 4 different companies, and I got 3 of those bids. I purchased fabrics, purchased notions, threads, zippers, lining, everything that was needed to put the garments together for the customers. Left after we had just gotten the stuff that day, actually just cleared them from the boat. I was renting a shop space and came back the next day and noticed that the front door was compromised. And I first started to doubt myself, like, did I leave it open? I don't think I did. Went in and everything was gone. They took everything. Like, they didn't take the machines though. They took all the fabric. They took all of the notions that I purchased. They took, like, they didn't even leave a thread. They took everything. To say I was devastated was like an understatement. I didn't know what to do. I sat in the corner for a bit and I cried. I had to call the police. I called my mother and I was like, what am I going to do? I have signed these contracts already. These people are going to be expecting their garments at the time that I've allotted, that we've signed off on. And my mom was like, how much do you need to get the stuff back? Let's just repurchase and get this thing going. And she went with me to the bank. We got the monies, reordered the fabrics. One set of fabrics for the company that came in was not the same color as the first batch of color that we got from them. So that was a back and forth. But I worked tirelessly day and night for 24 hours. I wouldn't sleep. I just could not sleep because I did not want to have to tell these people, I'm not going to have your garments done on time. One thing I want to let you know from that experience, when timelines are given to a customer, you have to stick to that timeline. I know that things could happen outside of control, but communicate. Communication is key. And sometimes customers don't want to know, well, hey, if you have an issue, that ain't my problem. We paid you to do a thing and that's what we want. We paid you to produce, we want our garments. But it also taught me that I had more fortitude than I thought I had. And I could not allow that one incident to turn me away from the vision that I had for myself and my business. Over the years, while creating garments has always been my primary focus. Being a visionary in the fashion industry, I also sought to innovate and expand my creative horizons. I ventured into a decorating company. I had a decorating company for about 6 years. I taught sewing classes, but I still teach sewing classes, and now I'm accredited by NACOR. And during COVID-19 pandemic, I was able to pivot. And I was the first person in the Bahamas to be making cloth masks for men, women, and children. But my most creative project thus far, and yes, I've been to New York Fashion Week. I participated in Harlem Fashion Week. I've had someone I was renting from when I went to take my son to school lock the store. When I came back, even though I told them, like, listen, I literally told them, like, because communication is key for me. Like, I'm not paying the rent now. I'm going to pay it when I come back. I have to see what's going to happen with my son because I've never taken a child to college. Let's just see how this is going to go. And they agreed. They were like, okay, no problem. They gave me a kiss and a hug and everything. And when I came back, there was a lock on the door. And they held on to the tools of my trade for 5 years. But God too worked that out for my good, I'll tell you. But my most creative project thus far, and the one which I'm most proud of, is the creation of the fabric of hope. It's here behind me and what I'm wearing. A journey was started in 2016 once we found out that my father had cancer and I would go with him to treatments. And I would ask the doctor, like, can you all do something for these people? Like, why do they all look so dreary? And, there was even a time we went with him and a daughter dropped the mom off and mother was so weak, she got inside and fell to the ground. And I asked God, like, what could I do as a fashion designer to assist these people? Because I was like, I'm only a fashion designer. I don't even know what I could do for these people. And he told me 2 things. He said to create a print made up of some of the colors associated with the various types of cancer. and then to give them makeovers. I have created the print, and I have a show every year where I give them makeovers. But the producing of the print did not come easy. When we first started, I started with a company in England, and the colors were not as vibrant as the colors on the print now. We had to get them transposed. And then there was a finding the right company to print the garments, because all printing companies don't print the same, or their prints are not the same. I didn't know all this stuff. And then there was printing the different fabrications, printing on cotton, printing on poly cotton, printing on Lemoire, and printing on Mikado, and printing on knit. And all those fabrics gave a different color print. And I think some of you, I think I could draw it home to you from the Bahamian flag. You notice when we have independence that some of the flag colors are not the same, but it may not mean that they didn't use the same Pantone color. It's just that when they print it on a particular fabric, the color looks a particular way. And then I had to get copyright on the design. Now I am in the testing of samples in order to produce a mini collection for the Fabric of Hope. So a lot of hard work and time has gone into developing the fabric, and it has not been easy, but listen, I have been focused and determined. And through that all, 2 years ago, I had a double mastectomy without reconstruction because of breast cancer. While a lot of people thought that this would have deterred me from continuing my business, I am proud to say that it has really ignited a flame, desire, and a will to continue to bring the vision of seeing the Fabric of Hope garments in stores throughout the world. But before I go, I'd like to leave you with these 4 nuggets. 1, master your skill and the skill you'd like to delegate to others. Meaning, don't open a business and you don't know how to operate your business. I had a lady come to me during one of my sewing sessions, and she came to me because she'd opened up a sewing business, making clothes for people, but she did not know how to sew. So her employees held that against her. When they didn't want to come to work, they didn't come, and they didn't make the garments properly. Don't do that. Please learn your craft. Don't let anyone come in. Don't hire anyone that knows your craft better than you. Number 2, be intentional about being around people, being around the right people and environments. Negativity is not good. If I had stayed around some people that I used to know, I would not be as far as I am in my business, because they didn't see the vision for the Fabric of Hope. They really didn't see the vision for Remilda Rose. But you need to stay around positive people who can speak life into what you see and who can give you constructive criticism. 3, always look for opportunities to enhance your skills. When I was, I think I was 48, and I applied. That was when the lady held on to all of my tools of my trade. And at the time she held on to the tools of my trade, I had just gotten a contract for a company to do their uniforms, right? It's ironic. So I had to rebuy sewing machines because she kept everything. And then I had to buy fabrics. I had people's garments that were in the store space that I couldn't get, and I had to explain to them what was happening. What happened was I stayed away longer than I told her I was going to stay away with my son. And so when I came back, she had moved away from her business and her son had taken over. And his thing was I owed storage and I owed the rent. And I couldn't do both of them. And I was like, just give me my items and I'll be able to make the money and pay you and da, 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 da. He wasn't hearing it. So I got the opportunity to go back to school during that same time. I fulfilled the contract for the customer. and I got the opportunity to go back to school. So I applied to Life with Key Foundation, and I applied to the Ministry of Education. I got the scholarship to go, and Ministry of Education was hesitant because their thing was, at that time, at my age, what was I going to offer the Bahamas? But in any event, with persistence and perseverance, I got the scholarship and I was able to go off to school. When I went off to school, when I got on the campus, I was like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? Because I was the oldest one. I was literally the oldest one on the campus in fashion. But when I applied to that school, I didn't let them know that I'd already had a degree because I really wanted to learn everything that was out there that was new. Because there were some things that I'd been to school like 20 years prior, 25 years prior. And there were a lot of things that were new to me. Even though I had watched them, on YouTube and stuff, I still wanted to be in the classroom to learn. So I didn't let them know that I had a degree already. And so I made sure every lecturer, like I was asking questions. I want to know specifically how to do this. If I did a project and say they were grading it out of 5 and I got a 4, like tell me why I got a 4. What did I do wrong that I didn't get that other point? Like I didn't go there to waste time, and I wanted to come back to be the best designer that I could be. And there was one day I was taking my finals. I was scared. It was a holiday before the finals. I was studying. I did a self-study and I couldn't pass my self-study. So I called the lady at Life with Key Foundation and I'm like, what will you all do if I fail this class? Will I lose my scholarship? She said no, but she said, talk to your vice chair at the school. I went in the next day. I went in early, spoke to my vice chair, and she was like, come, Jillian, let's go outside. Let's breathe. Let's take a walk. Did all of that, came back in, and she said, okay, take the test. And if you pass, we'll just remove it from your grade. We won't put it against you, and we'll just allow you to take it again. Man, I took that test and I got a B. It was like I could have like literally slapped myself, putting myself through all of that. Because I was so scared. I even called my son because my son was in college. My son had Life with Key US and I had Life with Key Canada. And I called him and I said, Donovan, like, what do I do? And he said, Mommy, did you write it down? Did you say it out loud? Did you do this? I said, yeah, I did it. He said, okay, I can help you. So, but I went on to graduate valedictorian of the fashion program for that year. So please go back to school, watch YouTube videos, read books, always improve on your skill. Number 4, know your worth. Recognize the value you bring to the table. Your skills, creativity, and hard work are unique and deserve to be compensated fairly. So I'm going to talk to the women right now. As women, we should collaborate, uplift, and empower each other, recognizing that our collective strength is far greater than our individual effort. By sharing knowledge, resources, and support, we can break barriers, challenge stereotypes, and create opportunities, not only for ourselves, but for future generations. Together, we can achieve more and inspire lasting change. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. That was so inspiring, and notably the last sentence for women entrepreneurs that are with us here today. There's a lot of feedback, positive feedback in the chat. We are so grateful for your inspiring story and for teaching us to never lose a vision of our dreams and to always keep learning. I wanted to I'll see if there's maybe some questions for you on the chat. Right now, everybody's just very excited about your presentation. Encouraging presentation. Let's see. Well, it seems that there's mostly a lot of thank yous and that it was very inspiring. And this is really the objective of this session, which was to share the story of a successful entrepreneur, notably a woman, and to share her experience. Perhaps one question that I would have as a woman entrepreneur, did you feel that there were certain challenges that you or barriers that you had to break down that perhaps you had because you were a woman, and how you faced them?
I just think, and I think the major one I had would have been going off to school, and for him, you know, questioning what was I going to offer because of my age, what was I going to offer to the Bahamas. I think my most for me, what I would see as a barrier right now would be the fact that for me in getting funding and having had cancer, because I'm cancer free, and that being a barrier right now, people seeing it as, oh, you've been sick, or maybe thinking that I'm still sick. And that's been a major barrier for me. But I'm cancer free, but they don't understand that, you know? And I don't know if it would have been different for a man. I don't know, possibly, but I'm not sure. But that's really been the hardest thing for me right now.
Thank you for sharing that. And well, it's great that you were cancer free. And there's also a lot of people that are echoing that. Again, they're saying that you're a true inspiration, teaching us about different, that there's always when there's a will, there's always a way. And says nothing, not even cancer can stop your greatness. So there's a lot of very positive feedback in the chat. There's one nice question here that says, after all your successes and going through the challenges you've been through, what keeps you motivated now?
Failure is not an option for me. Like, failure is not an option. Failure is not in my DNA. And I've come too far with what's behind me. I have now, since having cancer, I have come into contact with a group on Facebook of women from around the world who have also had double mastectomies or are going through getting ready to have surgeries to have that. And I am able to share my story. I'm able to share my designs. I am able to, you know, when I put on something, I share it with them, because of a lot of them are like, we don't know what to wear. And I share what I wear with them. I give them tips for what to wear. And I share the fabric of hope. And they're like excited and waiting for these garments to come to market to be able to wear the fabric of hope. So
thank you. Thank you. That is super inspiring. There's another question. Can you share your experience with protecting your designs or your intellectual property?
Well, when I got the copyright for my designs, because I have the copyright for the fabric of hope, which is this, and I also have the copyright for my Bohemia fabric, which is this one here. And I actually went through a lawyer in the US. I came across an email today. I've been trying to get sorted out with copyright and stuff for my designs here in the Bahamas from 2019. I saw the stuff today. Everything was submitted, everything was done. We've heard nothing from them. But I worked with a lawyer in the US and I have copyright. I didn't think I really needed it local, but my copyright still covers these here, local, but I worked with a US attorney and it was done so much quicker. The cost, I saw something came up with the cost. The cost was like $1,200 for each one.
Okay. And so this means that this is your fabric design as well?
This is my fabric design. If anyone goes to use it, because it's copywritten, they will check to see whether it's been used, or if anyone tried to produce anything with it or whatever, they'll check to see whether it has been, and if it has, they cannot use it.
All right. And what was the inspiration? Because we've been looking at the fabric and it's so beautiful. And can you maybe share a little bit more about the inspiration behind that design? Because the colors are amazing.
Well, some of the colors are for the color at the back. My father had colon cancer, so the blue is for colon cancer. The grape color here is for the caregiver, and the caregiver in the print actually has the biggest flower because the caregiver is so important in the life of a person that's sick. So we really wanted to honor the caregiver. We didn't want to, because I want the Fabric of Hope to be global, we didn't want to focus on a particular flower. So I didn't want to say, oh, I'm using only flowers for the Bahamas because this is worldwide. So we just took flowers and we did them like you would do stuff in a comic book. That's how we did the flowers. So there's the yellow, I can't remember what all of them represent, but there's brain cancer, there's bone cancer, there are different colors represented in the print. And I wanted a print because like my husband could wear this print. My husband wears this print and he looks really good in it. So it's unisex.
That is amazing, and it's so beautiful and so inspiring. And combining fashion with a purpose and a message behind it is really amazing. And we are so grateful for your time and for sharing your story, and as well with all of the people that are present. You will also be able to look at the chat because there's a lot of positive feedback in what you were mentioning, and I think it really also inspires everyone to. Even if you have challenges or hurdles, that there's opportunities in different ways to surmount these and to get over them, and to never give up on your dreams. So thank you so much. We are very grateful for your participation, Jillian, and we would like to thank you, express our gratitude. If people, everyone, please share your thoughts and show appreciation on the chat for Jillian because her presentation was amazing. And with that, we come to the end of our mentoring day or mentoring sessions with this really inspirational note. We want to thank everyone for joining. And the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative implemented in partnership with SBDC really aims to empower Bahamians with the tools and expertise to develop world-class products and services in the creative and cultural industries and to enhance capacities for businesses to be more sustainable and profitable. UNESCO recognizes the significant economic contributions of the cultural and creative industries, which are key to generate income and employment, while also protecting and preserving both tangible and intangible cultural heritage. Notably, this initiative aims to provide further opportunities for women and young entrepreneurs to foster more inclusive economic growth and reduce inequalities. It is important to bridge gender gaps in entrepreneurship to foster gender equality and contribute to a more equitable society. Indeed, gender equality ensures a variety of voices are represented in the creative environment, leading to richer and more innovative products and services. We hope that through these sessions, you have gained new insights and learned about new tools that can help you strengthen your businesses, and that you've also been inspired. We hope that they have been engaging and that you will find them to be valuable for the work that you're doing in the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative. We also share a special thank you to all our speakers for their expertise and for inspiring us. Our sincere gratitude to Clementina Villarroel, Dr. Sean Miller, Christopher Darrell, and Ms. Jillian Curry-Williams. Before we conclude, we would like to take this opportunity to share another video with inspirational journeys of other Bahamian entrepreneurs. And thank you so much for SBDC as well for providing us this space. We look forward to hearing about the next steps in your entrepreneur journey. UNESCO team is also available, and we hope you have a lovely evening. So stay tuned for the video because you will also be inspired. And the video over to my colleague.
So my name is Aiden. I'm the owner of House of Assembly, and we launched in about 2016 with just like an espadrille line, so very printed, like colorful footwear and sandals, and then eventually by 2019 we kind of pivoted to handbags. I don't know if I ever actually decided to become a fashion designer, but growing up I had a grandmother that plaited a lot of straw, and she lived in Exuma as well, so every summer I would kind of help her do that in terms of plaiting straw and then selling to vendors in the straw market. And I think when you grow up doing things, you don't really see it as a career opportunity. It's just something that you do. But it wasn't until the end of high school that she actually passed away that I kind of reframed things and ended up deciding to go to art school. Yeah, I did internships and apprenticeships at a few different firms at Ralph Lauren when I was in school. And then by the time I graduated, I did a year with Stuart Weitzman and then a year with Reebok and then about 6 months with Tory Burch as well. So my customer base right now, I would say, is about 90% Bahamian and 10% other. And when I refer to other, I'm referring to Caribbean, US, and sometimes Canada. But I think in terms of appetite for the brand thus far, it's been mostly the Caribbean. And I think it's just because people in the Caribbean just find that connection to the vibrancy and the patterns and the prints, just because of the environment that we live in. In regards to the Creative Entrepreneurship Initiative, I really like the fact that creatives in the Bahamas and the Caribbean are being given this opportunity to kind of learn more about the intellectual property rights and kind of like the ownership that goes behind it, because I think as a lot of entrepreneurs, we don't have that background in branding and legal and training and copyright infringement. And I think that's why a lot of small businesses don't end up doing as well as people that have that background. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to learn more about that and to be able to do that through the grant funding that we've been awarded.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our side wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Hi, I'm Kizzy Hanna, and I am the CEO of Nail Envy Salon Studio and Nail Envy Academy. My business offers education for beginner level, intermediate, and advanced level nail classes for those persons who would like to become nail technicians and continue that education for those persons that are in the professional atmosphere already. So our curriculum has already been vetted and approved by the National Accreditation and Equivalency Council of the Bahamas. What distinguishes Nail Envy Academy from the competitors, we are really focused on relaying our information in a proper and conducive environment, making sure that our students are getting that one-on-one attention that is needed to be able to send them out into the field and be able to be successful in their occupation. I am so passionate about what I do because I want young women to know that not everyone has to have tertiary education. You can throw your whole self at something and bring a difference to your industry.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Since I've been engaged with the SBDC, not only have I gained tremendous business information, but the support that they give you for helping me to do the proper business step-by-step protocols. They're there to assist you. I can call my advisors anytime and they are willing to help. To navigate these waters is very tough if you don't have any information or any help. SBDC, they walk you through it. Not only do they walk you through it, they get you in contact with people, networking me and getting me involved with other small businesses. But support, number one, is the main thing. The money is also great. So a live business for us has been crucial, mainly because they're receptive to our needs. They respond to what we want, where we rely on the internet, we rely on the phones heavily, we rely on money transfers through our website. The live business, the SBDC has been there, and I think that they're beneficial to us.
my name is Aiden. I'm the owner of House of Assembly, and we launched in about 2016 with just like an espadrille line, so very printed, like colorful footwear and sandals, and then eventually by 2019 we kind of pivoted to handbags. I don't know if I ever actually decided to become a fashion designer, but growing up I had a grandmother that plaited a lot of straw, and she lived in Exuma as well, so every summer I would kind of help her do that in terms of plaiting straw and then selling to vendors in the straw market. And you know, I think when you grow up doing things, you don't really see it as a career opportunity. It's just something that you do. But it wasn't until the end of high school that she actually passed away that I kind of like, you know, reframed things and ended up deciding to go to art school. Yeah, I did.
Foot, our psych wall.
All right. Thank you so much. We hope that these videos were also engaging and entertaining for you. Different initiatives that have been funded by SBDC. We wish you all the best in your entrepreneurial journeys. From UNESCO's side, we will be also engaging further with you. And Felice, I don't know if you want to take the floor and say something before we wrap up.
No, Paula, thank you so very much. I was just in the process of sending you an email. But thank you for organizing a truly amazing, impactful event. I'm getting also WhatsApp text messages to say the impact of this evening. And so we'll definitely share more of the feedback with you. But just thank you for organizing an amazing you know, menu of presenters and just, you know, everything was just authentic. And we're definitely appreciative of that.
No, thank you so much, and thank you for giving us the space. It's great to be collaborating with SBDC, and we look forward also for the future activities that we will be doing together within the framework of this initiative. So we will stay in touch. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a lovely evening and all the best on your journey.
Thank you. Bye-bye.